Uh, Brad, I think you chose the wrong week to sit out podcasts. Cause
No, what you mean? We won.
no, Brad, y'all got smashed. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. As always, my name is James. I support Arsenal. That's Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Boys, what's up, Brad? Hello, welcome back.
Oh, it's good to be back.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Doing great.
Yeah.
Next week probably not so much, but we're doing fine right now.
Wait,
Brad, I got a question for you a little bit later.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it should be a good one.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really mad about the pod, and I definitely did not watch.
It's a good question.
Wait, time out. Hold on.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
You didn't watch us last week?
I did not. I was terrible. I don't know what mild inconvenience you guys had, but I've had plenty, so it's probably one of those.
Didn't watch, didn't tweet. Wow.
Took really a week off. I'm sorry.
Feeling the love.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Well,
unlike me, guys, but you know what? I did do? I did click the bell. So next week, it's going to be all throughout my YouTube timeline. So,
you
should like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you click the bell so you don't forget to watch, guys.
Yeah,
and leave us a 5-star review. It helps the podcast a lot if you get those 5-star reviews in.
Hey, you heard it from the man. Do all the things that he doesn't do. Maybe support this podcast. All the things that he doesn't do. Oh man, I'm flummoxed. Let's look at the league table. Oh, I didn't update the league table. I'm a terrible human being. All right, I'm just gonna read it to you. It's not gonna come up on screen because I forgot to. If you're on YouTube friends, I'm sorry, I forgot to pull the league table in. But it's not a lot has changed from last week.
Don't worry, loyal listeners. You can just pull those stupid ass leaves off of his jersey and be like, he loves me not. He loves me.
All right. Take a second, go to Google, type Premier League table. All right. Now everyone's done that. We're all on the same page. Okay. First position, still Arsenal. Second position, still City. Third is still Tottenham. Fourth is still Newcastle. Slight change between fifth and sixth. We got Manchester United up to fifth. Chelsea are down to sixth. Fulham are in seventh. Brighton and Hove are in eighth. Liverpool are in ninth. And Crystal Palace round out the top 10 in 10th. Bottom half of the table, Brentford is in 11th. Everton are in 12th. West Ham United are in 13th. Bournemouth are 14th. Leeds are in 15th. They picked up 3 big points. Villa are in 16th. Southampton 17th. Back into the relegation zone is Leicester. And then we've got Wolves and Nottingham Forest. So that's how the league table looks.
This table is super tight. That's like from top 4 to relegation zone is 13 points.
Well, Brad,
that's ridiculous.
I've got a question for you. Because Sean Stradamus made a proclamation last week. Had you watched the podcast or listened, you would have
seen it.
You would have known what the proclamation was. The proclamation is that the relegation battle will be spicier than the top 4 battle. Do you agree or disagree? And to Sean's point, Sean Stradamus's point was that it's going to be all 3 of the positions for relegation are going to be in play. Because in the past seasons we've had some teams that are just god awful on like 2 points after 14 games or something like that. That's not the case this year. So Sean's point is that all 3 of the relegation positions, position 20, 19, and 18, are all going to be up for grabs. And it's going to be a more interesting battle than that for the top 4.
7 points. 7 points separate top half from bottom.
Did you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear you guys for the past 30 seconds. I don't know what happened.
Do you think the relegation? Awesome. Do you think the relegation battle will be more interesting than the top 4 battle?
If with all 3 spots in play versus just the 4th, or third and fourth.
So I did hear.
I think I agree with Sean.
That's the question I asked Sean because I said, like,
Nostradamus.
I asked. Well, Sean Strauss made his proclamation, and then I asked Sean whether or not he thought Arsenal and City were going to drop out of the top 4, and he said no. And then I asked if he thought Spurs would, and he said they might drop out but then come back in. So that would indicate that they're in the fight for top 4. Whereas Sean believes that Arsenal and City will not drop out of the top 4.
Not on current form. No.
Yeah.
Well, City's definitely not dropping out of the top 4. Arsenal would have to have some really, really bad World Cup luck. Like, I don't think the only team that I would say is secured in the top 4 because they could lose their whole starting 11 and still have Erling Haaland, but whole starting 11 minus Haaland because Haaland's not playing in the World Cup, and they would still be fine. I would not make any other proclamations about a team staying in the top 4 until after the World Cup and whatever injuries may occur. Not to wish injuries on anybody, but like, let's be real. This is the season of injuries.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point that I hadn't thought of. Newcastle aren't going to have a ton of players going to the World Cup.
They probably will.
It's probably going to end up being Trippier because of injuries. Botman's going to go, right?
Their goalie's going.
Pope's a maybe.
Pope's going. He's probably not playing, but he's going.
So no injury concern.
I mean, you don't know.
Is Paraguay in the World Cup?
No.
I need to get up to 2020. What year is
it?
Bruno's going.
But are you? Gamarish is going. But that's 2. I don't know. Sven Botman is what? Swedish.
Right, but you're also playing and coming like a lot of teams are tired. Playing every 3 days is no joke.
Well, okay. To be fair, we're getting off topic here. Maybe this is something we'll address here later. But
World Cup time. We have like a month of World Cup content.
But
Botman is Dutch. He's going.
What was the point I was going to make?
No, Netherlands didn't make it.
Yes, they did.
Okay, they made it. So Sven Botman's going.
Yeah. All right. I forgot.
I didn't make it last year.
I forgot the point I was going to make. So we're just going to move on. That's an interesting conversation that we'll have about
that is World very Cup interesting.
I don't want to have it right now.
Okay.
Let me quickly rattle through the results from the weekend. And we'll get to. We have 3 specific games that we want to talk about, but let me rattle off the results real quick. Saturday kicked off. Leicester City hosting Manchester City. Manchester City get the 1-0 victory. Bournemouth Spurs win 3-2. Brentford Wolves, the game ends in a 1-1 draw. Brighton and Chelsea, Brighton win that game 4-1. Palace and Southampton, Crystal Palace win 1-0. Newcastle win 4-0. At Fulham Everton, I think I erroneously said this might be a good game, ends 0-0. Liverpool Leeds beat Liverpool 2-1. Leeds beat Liverpool 2-1.
Wow.
Arsenal Forest, Arsenal win 5-0. And the battle of the Uniteds, Manchester United versus West Ham United. Manchester United win 1-0. And for people keeping score at home, Sean and I did predict scores in that game. Sean predicted a 2-1 victory for West Ham. I predicted a 2-2 draw. So both of us were wrong. No one gets any points. If Brad was here, Brad would have just like thrown a dart along the wall and said Manchester United's going to win 1-0, and then he would have been right because for some reason he always just guesses correctly and acts like he knows things when he just is lucky. But those are the results.
You can't say it's luck when it keeps happening.
I will continue to say it's luck when it keeps happening. All right, that's it. That's what we got. Those were the scores. We want to kick off this conversation with Chelsea.
You said the score wrong in that game, by the way. It was 2-3. Chelsea won the game. We scored 3 goals.
Oh, tell me, how did Chelsea score 3 goals?
Trevor Chalobah scored a goal. Ruben Loftus-Cheek scored a goal, and Kai Havertz scored a goal. I'm looking at the score at the sheet on PremierLeague.com, and it says Chelsea scored 3 goals.
Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, so Chelsea are on. They're not. They're in 5th place, right? Because they scored 3 goals.
Just because 2 of them are in our own net doesn't matter.
I think that matters. Okay, you're muted.
Oh God, that was such a tear. Yes, it was so bad. Thiago Silva is our oldest player. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's like our oldest player, and he's played the most minutes so far. That's hugely worrying. And it showed. He had 3 huge mistakes to start the game. 2 of them he was able to get back and save. Like he goal line saves on 2 of them. Then the third one went in. Man, it was rough. I think
my question for you was the same as 2 weeks ago. Right, y'all good?
I mean, injuries are
like that was it. That's it.
Like, look, injuries are destroying. I think
you got 2 draws in a row and a loss. Was that bad to Brighton?
Well, we also we've won our
that's okay.
Champions League group. So we've won.
Playing against Farmers, cool. That's good. That's good for you. Anyways,
are you
good?
About you and you're stressed about Farmers. Well, look, what we got?
This is about
Fofana, James.
Okay,
James.
Everybody's got injuries, bro. Everybody's got injuries.
So
I agree.
We didn't have our manager today.
No, you asking me if I'm good, so I'm telling you. Like I don't like it's. Yeah, but it's rough.
So you're attributing all of this to injuries.
Yeah.
Chelsea's current situation is due to injuries.
I think the biggest injury is Reece James. We have like Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Dave is our cover for Reece James. So a natural cam who's played right back, center mid, and right wing back for us this year. And I think left wing. Like he's played all over the field, is our main cover for the best right back in the game of football.
Loftus-Cheek is not a natural he's not a natural 10, right? That's what you're trying to tell me. The Loftus-Cheek is a 10.
Okay, so he's an 8, but like
yeah, okay,
he's more attacking than he is center mid.
Okay, all right.
He's an 8 that's playing.
Yeah, I'll take
everywhere.
That.
So, and he's literally playing everywhere. I think he's gotten himself into the 55-man list for Southgate to pick from.
He's a utility man.
He is. He is our.
You need
he's
people
our
like
Swiss
that.
knife. Yeah.
Which goes back to my argument like 2 or 3 weeks ago that Ben White has to be on the England. He has to be on the England. List. I don't. You can't take 55 men to Qatar. He has to be on the 23-man list or whatever it is.
But it goes from 55. 26. Those are the people he has to pick from.
26. What do they take on?
I think it's 26. I think it's 26.
Something like that.
He has to be on the 26. Ben White has to be. And so does Loftus-Cheek because he can play like 7 positions. Like you have to have your utility people.
I don't disagree. I think Loftus-Cheek might play himself into the into consideration. I don't think Southgate's taking him. But I mean Southgate did take him in 2018.
But you know what I mean? Like you just like those utility players you could not replace.
I agree with you. But at the same time, Ruben Loftus-Cheek isn't legitimate cover at right wing back.
He's not.
He's not.
And Dave can't play every 3 days. Like he's at that role.
He can play a 6, 8, 10.
And then
adequately.
Cucurella's playing left center back because Koulibaly's been hurt. Koulibaly's finally back fit.
Okay, so but regardless of the injuries, like
and here's the worst part is these Sterling and or Pulisic wingbacks it should be deaded.
Worked once.
So do you have any concerns about Chelsea other than injuries?
Yes.
Okay.
Not really. No, if we're fully healthy, no. This is easily a top 4 squad at full health.
Is it a title contending squad at full health?
I don't know.
Okay, your tune has changed significantly from 2.5 months ago because at the beginning of the season,
I said we were winning it all, but of course I did. We all say we're winning it all.
I mean, I didn't. I don't think Sean did he?
Yes, he did.
I mean, I think Sean did, but
he did.
I didn't. I wanted to. I put my teams.
You did last year.
Okay, and I gave
you do every year. What we do every year.
Yes. I gave you my rationale for last year. Everyone understands my rationale for last year. It was a poor choice. But you've been a very verbose this season about how good you think this Chelsea squad is.
I have, and then we lost 4 defenders and 2 midfielders.
But you're talking about injury. But you're talking about injury lost. Or you're talking about
injury lost. I mean, losing Rudiger was fucking huge. Losing Rudiger was humongous. Like that hurt a ton. And then we're playing Cucurella, who can play left center back, but isn't really supposed to. And him and Chilwell can't get on the same page because they want to do the same thing. So like, it's just it. So that's why I think Graham Potter was playing Sterling as a left wing back, as more of like a winger, and let Cucurella kind of fill in that spot, and then it becomes like a 2-4-3 or 2-5-3.
I don't think any of us have the. I
but-
don't think any of us have the answer to this question that I'm about to ask. But what is Graham Potter's preferred? I'm not going to say lineup because he doesn't believe necessarily in strict lineups, but like, what is his preferred ethos? Like, does he want to play 4 at the back? Does he want to play 5 at the back? Does he want to play 3 in the midfield, 4 in the midfield? Like, what is his preference here? I don't personally know.
I think he wants to play a pressing style that's up front in your face, like we saw Brighton play.
So it seems 4-3-3
Like that-
to me.
like-
that screams 4-3-3 to me.
I think kind of, but I also think he's also one of those managers that has like, this is your role. This isn't your position. This is what you're supposed to do out on the field.
Yeah, a lot.
So like, I don't think
He
like,
said that out loud.
you can't make a formation out of that.
Yes, you can.
Do you guys?
But I'm saying it's probably a 3-5-2.
Did you guys see? If you guys haven't seen a couple week or two ago, that's 2 managers and Graham Potter included. It was Fulham.
It was Brentford. It was
Brentford.
Yeah.
And they were both interviewed
Frank,
before the
Thomas
game.
Frank.
Yeah.
And they were both interviewed before the game, and they were both asked, "What would you ask the other manager before the game?" And it was a really interesting. Both of them answered very honestly, and if you haven't seen this video, you very much should, because Graham Potter admits that. Where Thomas Frank asks, "What style would you be running this game?" And he basically says, "I don't think I have a style. I think I have players that run a role, and it should be a free-flowing role between." There shouldn't be this guy guards this position, and I'm paraphrasing greatly because I want people to go see this video in a very honest moment between 2 managers that actually answer the question that the interviewer just lobs at them and hopes they answer, and both of them answer very honestly. So I hope you go watch that video. But yeah, Graham Potter admits to I don't want anybody to play a certain position. I want them to play a role.
Yeah.
I want this to be a free-flowing event.
I think that's kind of true of most modern football setups. You look at Pep Guardiola, you look at Arsenal. Granted, like they're both kind of under the same
Klopp
ethos.
does the same thing.
Like where players are significantly more interchangeable in the place that they are. It's not a 4-4-2 where you're the left midfielder, you're the right midfielder. This is where you go. Like everyone is a lot more fluid in modern football than 5 years ago even.
You even see it in Conte's antiquated style that when one goes forward, another one fills behind and guards the role until it comes back. And they kind of do that. You even see it in an antiquated style like Conte's.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that I don't think that Potter has the players presently to fulfill his current like machinations. Like he would prefer to have different players. Would be my guess.
So kind of.
It's going to take a little bit of time to get the players in
some spots, but I think also having Conte back makes any system work.
True. Yeah. That's a fair point.
Right. Like we've literally been missing our best player for like a year. And here's the thing: by the time he's healthy,
he'll be 43.
I don't know. He's going to be signed somewhere. Like he have a pre-contract done. Because I think Chelsea have offered Jorginho a new contract in Kova, but they haven't offered Conte yet because like can't give you $320,000 a week if you can't be healthy.
Yeah, why would they?
Which I think is fair, but he's also January will be 6 months left on his deal, so like we might do an Arsenal and let him go for free.
He can have a pre-contract with a foreign team in
Correct.
January. He can't sign a pre-contract with a domestic team until the summer. Can't sign it essentially. Anyway, interesting. I okay, yeah. That's
like
kind
of, the result. I think I don't
who
like
cares
the
about the
result is
specific
worse.
result?
Right, the result is worse than what it seems. Like it was like Ruben Loftus-Cheek on goal was like random, like hit off his knee, off the post and in. Like it looked worse than it was, but also Brighton had a lot more chances. So like 4-1 is probably fair.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great game. We had a better second half again, but like it was not a great game.
Yeah.
So Havertz got on the score sheet though, and Havertz has looked really good.
Just a quick note on Arsenal, just because they're top of the table, doing really well. I think that this was an important result for Arsenal, in that we have looked really poor in second halves in the last 4 or 5 games. Against Leeds, against Southampton, obviously lost last midweek against PSV Eindhoven in Eindhoven. That was kind of, we did not play well in the second half of that match. And then this against Forest, have a 1-0 lead going into halftime, and then to come out in the second half and to play the way that we did, was, I think, really important for this team. If Arsenal had limped to a 1-0 victory against Forest, I think that would have been very, I don't want to say demoralizing, but it would have just heaped more pressure on the team. And I think that this will free the team to be more able to, I think they'll feel less pressure going into next week, is kind of the way I feel. And it's a huge game next weekend. It's a toss-up. I mean, London derbies are always a toss-up. So, well,
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal have a good track record at Stamford Bridge over the last couple of years, but at the same time, it's still Chelsea. That's never an easy match. So, a funny comment from Will. He did comment how last week I said that it's a worrying trend that Arsenal haven't been playing well in the second half, and his remark was bit them on Thursday in regard to the PSV Eindhoven result, and he said, but talk about getting exactly what you asked for on Sunday, when we whooped Forest in the second half. So, what were you going to say, Sean?
Is that my reaction to Arsenal and United winning, where I sent you guys the clip from Breaking Bad of the guy saying they can't keep getting away with this. That was my immediate response when I checked to see what the results were, check down, see where we are, and I immediately turned to ask James. Last year, you jokingly said that Arsenal should have clearly 112 points, which would be having dropped to. That is on record, by the way. You guys can go back and check that. Preseason,
it's on his Twitter. It's on his
112 points is what you said, dropping 2 points all season. You are currently on pace. Well, if you do not lose any other games and do not draw any other games, you will have 109. 109 is the best possible from this point on. What say you? Can you keep getting away with this?
I need a quick point of order. I believe that my 112 point comment was in confidence between the three of us. I don't believe I ever publicly stated that on the podcast. You guys keep claiming that I did. I don't believe that's true. Just throwing that out there.
I had to type it into the calculator twice to make sure that 38 times 3 was 114.
Was I assuming that we would draw against City or Liverpool at home and
then I have no idea.
Yeah, that was.
Or draw away, win at home. You mean?
Yeah. It was obviously win 18 games at home. Well, it was clearly win 18 games at home and win 17 games on the road. The question is, which game is a draw? No. Okay. First off, do I think Arsenal are good for 109 points this year? Absolutely not. I think so. We're about a third of the way through the season, roughly, give or take.
Can you do this 3 more times, and then you will be?
No.
Can you do 10-1-1 3 more times and be on 93 heading into the final 2 games?
No, there's no way. I'm sorry. I mean, if we do, then obviously we will win the league. I would hope so. That the hopefully the 2 games that we lose aren't to Manchester City, but no. All right. So, what do I think is a good point total for the rest of the season?
If you do your current form 3 more times, you're on 12 games played. You will be 32 and You will be 33-3 on 93 points.
With
You
2
have a-
games left to play.
You have a
With 2
possible of
games left to play.
78 points left. Let's make this easy. You have 78 points left that you could get. How many of them do you get?
55. I think if we get to 85 points, I will be ecstatic this year. Like if Arsenal get to, and now granted, 85
That's
points,
18 more wins.
85 points normally wins you the league. Like 85 points almost always wins you the league, except in the Pep Guardiola Manchester City
Liverpool
situation.
Liverpool area.
Yeah, in the era that we're in right now, you have to be getting greater than 90 points to beat Manchester City. Now, 85 points could potentially win the league if we pick up 6 points against City. But
For
seems
everyone's
unlikely.
everyone's perspective, last year the top 4 points read 93, 92, 74, 71, with
Right.
Arsenal outside looking at 69.
Right? Like 94 points to beat City last year. That's insane. So
Yeah.
I think if we get to 85 points, I'll be very happy. I'll be ecstatic if we get to 85 points.
They can't keep getting away with this.
We
They
can't.
cannot.
You keep sleeping on us. You've been sleeping on Arsenal all season.
Because they're not good.
Sean's sleeping on everybody, not
Time out.
Tottenham.
What
and
is
City.
not?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Explain to me what's not good about Arsenal. Where are we deficient?
Your
The
manager.
bench.
Okay, you think our manager's not good. Okay, but that's fine. You can have your opinions about manager. What players do you think we're not like? What positions do you think we're not good at?
Well, I think the record has stated very clearly that I do not rate Odegaard nor Emil Smith Rowe, nor this
You can't be talking.
phantom.
You can't be talking smack on Emil Smith Rowe. He hasn't played this season. He's been injured.
That's
Just
true.
throw
But
that out there.
you just asked where you're deficient. I don't think Saka's that good.
Whoa.
Even though I have given him praise.
I think you're saying this wrong. I think you're attacking the wrong group of players here.
Nope, because I like Gabriel Martinelli. I would take him on Tottenham any day.
No.
I would
You're-
that.
You've talked
that
about
is-
everybody that's a starter.
This
here.
is just proving the fact that you're just hating to hate, except for the players that
Yeah.
you like.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I think the real thing is your bench.
Agreed. We have there's
I
a
think
significant
left back is
drop-off.
solid.
Yep.
And since Ben White can now play right back, I think right back is solid. I don't know if that holds up if something happens to your center back pairing.
I think
and your midfield without Partey, Odegaard, and Xhaka, like
Okay, our
I don't know.
midfield falls apart if Partey's injured.
Yeah.
Just
Or Xhaka. Xhaka's been playing out of his mind.
agreed, but less so Xhaka, because in theory,
Sure.
you could put Zinchenko there. If Emil Smith Rowe is healthy, you could put Smith Rowe there. You could put a Lakanga. Lakanga is better in Xhaka's role than Lakanga is in Partey's role. So, like, there's a
Which was the role he was signed to cover for.
yeah, because Mo El Neni is supposed to be our backup number 6. El Neni is a great backup for Partey.
So, but
and
that's that. I think Sean, you attacked it wrong. Like they have a strong ass starting 11. They have a top 4 starting 11. They have a title challenging starting 11 with Liverpool having a down year.
Just because you don't.
You don't either.
Yeah, we do.
Sean, do you think that Spurs starting 11 is better than Arsenal starting 11?
Yes.
James, do you think Arsenal starting 11 better than Spurs? Yes. Brad, who do you think has the better starting 11, Arsenal or Spurs?
Arsenal.
Yeah, I think we could take that poll. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us who you think has a better starting
Please
11
do.
between Arsenal and Spurs.
Both are all healthy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick both
All-
squads' best 11.
And
Fully
Chelsea
ha-
beats both y'all.
Okay. Sure. Let's
move it on.
let's talk about Spurs though, because
Yeah.
You guys get a victory against Bournemouth, and funny note, I don't know if you got to watch the Spurs Champions League match today, but Ray Hudson, who was calling the game for Paramount, kept calling Bournemouth. Kept saying, The
American?
The Spurs got a result today against the Bournemouth. It was really funny. No, he's not American. He is some British Isles. I don't know where from, but you would think that he would get it right. Or maybe he's I don't know. But he's just a funny guy. I'm going to look it up while you tell me what's up with Spurs.
Nothing's up with Spurs. We're getting results.
Okay.
That's not what the text messages said.
We're injured. Like, we don't
That's
have,
not what the text messages said.
Like, I'm not gonna hide behind injuries like Brad. But my question, I've already asked you two the questions. My question to myself was, if I today were to ask 2019 Champions League final watching Sean if he would be happy to trot out Davies, Dyer, Sanchez as a backline in a very important Champions League game, which we'll talk about later, 3 years in the future, would I be happy with this? And the answer would be absolutely not.
I disagree.
I just don't.
Hold on.
But the thing about it is 2019 Sean would understand that Daniel Levy hasn't spent a single pound in 5 years on players, and you'd be like, yeah, no, this is status quo. We're just riding.
We need to spend. We're raking in all this money. Why are we not spending on anything?
Hold on.
That's just what 2019 Sean would have said.
I think 2019 Sean would be in tears if he knew Dyer was still playing center back. But since we put James on blast for his 112, being a fan of this team is actually hell. Like, I'm pretty sure when someone goes to hell, they are forced to watch Tottenham games, but only Tottenham games they should win.
Yo, I was 100% cracking up when I was reading both of your text messages because you guys were playing at the same time slot, and Chelsea were losing, and then Spurs were losing.
Text that.
And I was having a field day. But I'm not an asshole, so I wasn't making fun of you guys in text messages. But it was.
I'm pretty sure I texted that before it went down to 2-0. I'm pretty sure that was just when it went down 1-0.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, that's exactly the time because that's when the own goal happened.
Yeah, and then I didn't even bother to text when the second goal went in for Bournemouth because you guys already knew my feelings.
But Sean, care to elaborate on that comment here?
Sean, you good?
Since Tottenham is the better than Arsenal.
This is the way of the fan of Tottenham. Okay, this is how you are. It's like, I'm not going to say that. It's like being reborn every game. Okay, you have to be broken down before you can experience happiness when you're a Tottenham fan. You cannot just simply experience happiness on its own in its raw form. You must experience sadness before you can experience happiness. And it makes you appreciate when we get a 92nd minute Bentancur bullshit play that somehow finds the back of the net.
How scared were you that VAR was going to rule it out?
I wasn't.
That's a lie. You're like, he's onside. No handball.
I mean, to be
no
fair,
foul. Okay.
To be fair, anytime there's a goal now, my first thought is, could this be called back? Like, is there a way that this could get called back? Every time Arsenal score. So I wouldn't begrudge Sean for thinking that. Okay, so we talked last week about how, both of these games were eminently winnable for Arsenal and Spurs, both playing newly promoted teams. Both of us got victories. One of them was significantly cleaner than the other. Does that?
So them resulted in 3 points, my man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not saying this to like meme on Spurs. Like that's not my point. Isn't to meme on Spurs. My point is to just try and get a sober assessment of how you feel Spurs are in this moment. It seems to me that Spurs are allowing too much. They're too okay with letting other teams dictate. That they're too okay with not having the ball, and Spurs are not asserting themselves on the game as much. I think today was a great example of Spurs at their best in the second half against Marseille. In the second half against Marseille, they needed a goal. They went out and got it. They asserted themselves on the game, and they were really good. In the first half, they were dreadful. When they were just sitting back and absorbing the pressure, like you said, they just were awful. They were boring to watch. They were stressful to watch if you're a Spurs fan, I'm sure. But then when they came out and they started playing and they were trying to attack, like they looked good. Like why should Conte settle for just allowing other teams to dictate the play? It seems to me that Spurs have enough players on their team, enough good players that can get on the ball, that can be productive and proactive, and in this whole ethos of just letting people attack us, absorb it, and then attacking on a counterattack just seems so foolhardy to me.
It does. It does. I've come full circle to be on your side of that argument, because after Jose and after Nuno and then entering Conte, I was just like, it's okay because I feel more calm. Now I'm coming around to the games where we control the games, and I see them. They happen every once in a while. When the other team doesn't want to have the ball, we absolutely derail those people and control the entire game and shots galore. When on Bournemouth, they did not want the ball, and we controlled the entire game. We had 20 corners.
Oh my God.
Bentancur scored on the 20th corner.
How many punches did Lloris have?
I don't know, but I guarantee you he was out punched by the Bournemouth goalkeeper.
Probably.
Guarantee you.
Definitely. Maybe not throws though. Don't forget about throws.
Bentancur scored on the 20th corner,
That's
which is
a
ridiculous. That is a ridiculous stat. So it just proves to me that if we want to play like that, we can. So why are we not unleashing that on everyone? Just do it on Liverpool on the weekend. Liverpool can't stop anybody.
Yeah, this is an interesting...
Press their press.
Yeah, you guys should attack Liverpool.
Absolutely. Van Dijk's a shell of himself so far this season. I don't think that's the way he is permanently. I'm not writing him off as a defender, but he is a shell of himself this year. Attack him.
What else do you have to lose?
I think Liverpool's problem is Liverpool doesn't care. Like, they care about the big games, but that's it. Like, they'll get up for the big games, but the rest of the season, I don't think they care. I agree.
We're a big game for them.
I agree. So I think you're going to see a different Liverpool this week, but we'll get into that in the preview coming on Thursday. Friday.
Brad's off the podcast for a week, and he doesn't remember the release cadence.
I don't. Friday, we got a preview coming of the Tottenham Liverpool game.
Speaking of
where I'll give a correct prediction.
What's next? What's the next pod?
Oh, tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. We're doing the news. Are you asking me or are we asking Brad?
Both of you.
Oh, we're doing the news tomorrow. And you guys should come back and see that, because that's that was all we really had planned for tonight. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Joel, if you had some thoughts about Newcastle. We should have spent some time on Liverpool and Leeds, just because Jesse Marsch got a result that he desperately needed. I think any time that we get on the podcast and we pontificate about who's going to lose their job, I think you can take it to the bank that they're going to get a result at the weekend, and they're not going to lose their job because we clearly don't know anything.
Find out on Friday who's going to keep their job.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'd love to hear from Jimmy, Tamzid. What did you guys think about Liverpool this weekend?
And who has the better starting 11? Spurs or Arsenal?
Yeah, definitely.
That's the one we want to hear.
Definitely let us know. If you're still listening, haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Subscribe, ring the sub notification bell. There's a button down in the right-hand corner you can push. That'll get you there. If you're on the podcast, follow 5-star if you're on Apple. Whoever lets you rate and review, please leave us a review. We would love to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG, at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. We collectively are at Redcard_radio. And we'd love to hear from you guys. But remember, check back Thursday. We've got the news, and then Friday for a preview of Match Week 15. Until then, have a great one. Share it with a friend. We'll see you next time.